Okay. Hi everyone. Naririnig ba ako? Good afternoon. Hi. Say hi.
Yes, sir.
Um, Kumusta ang inyong reading break? I know it's a bit short, pero I think and I hope nagamit niyo siya wisely. If you would remember, we did not meet yung last meeting before the reading break. So I hope you used that time wisely to do all of the things that you need to do. But nevertheless, we're back here and we are now in our eighth, yes, 8th week in class. So I'll just share my screen for a bit. Hinihintay ko baka may pumasok pang iba pero parang wala. So okay lang yun. I hope everyone is doing okay. Kumusta? Bago natin i-discuss yan, sige mag-ano muna tayo. Dahil tatlo lang kayong nandito. How are you? How are you doing? I hope you're doing great. Si CJ muna, tapos si Chagas, tapos si Lindon.
Okay lang, sir. Naghabol lang ng ibang ng ibang requirements ng ACAD break. Ay no,
Mm-mm.
reading break.
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm.
Pero okay naman, sir.
Okay, that's good to hear. Sana at least nakatulong yung um, a 1 week of reading break. Ako din actually ay naghabol din ng mga gawain pero technically hindi ko siya talaga nahabol. But still, it's a good thing that we are all able to rest for a bit during the reading break. Thank you, CJ. How about you, Mr. Chagas?
Hello, sir. Okay lang naman po. Actually, I spent more time resting than
That's
actually.
good. Mhm.
Yun lang po.
Okay, sige. Actually, that's good. The reading break is supposed to be a rest week naman talaga for everyone. So, kung gagawan man kayo ng other schoolwork, it's with you. Pero wala dapat talagang requirement for that week. So, yeah, I have nothing against those sa mga nagpahinga lang kasi kailangan naman talaga natin, lalo na sa panahon ngayon. Ang dami nangyayari. Okay, so how about si Lindon?
Hello sir. Narinig ba ako?
Hello. May echo.
Um, ay, okay.
Pero okay
Um,
lang.
well, technically wala akong ginawang nag-aral ako pero hindi yung school stuff. Kasi nag-take ako ng
Mhm.
NMAT
Ah,
last
wow.
Tuesday. So nag-review
Okay.
lang ako ng review starting Thursday. So
Mhm.
yun. So hindi rin siya break for me.
Mhm.
Kasi krinam ko yung entire NMAT into the 5 days. Yun.
Ang NMAT ngayon ay online?
Yes po. And then, yeah. Tapos may special browser na may nag may basta naka-on yung cam tapos yung monitor ka lang.
Mhm.
Yun lang po.
Oh, nice. Okay, so good luck. I know actually relatively hindi naman ganun kahirap ang NMAT. Mas mahirap ang boards natin kaysa sa NMAT, I believe. So hopefully may pasa mo siya, Lyndon. Meron ka nang naisip na school na pupuntahan for med?
Well, hopefully, College of Medicine ng UP.
Okay,
Kasi,
that's
kasi
nice.
free tuition.
Free tuition pa?
Yeah, I
Kahit
think
med?
so.
Okay,
Yeah.
interesting. Okay, good luck, best of luck. Wishing you the best. Ayan. So, thank you for sharing. I hope everyone is doing great. Um, ayan. Ako personally, medyo whirlwind yung mga past few days and weeks ko kasi madami nagkakasakit sa family ko and meron pa kaming mga personal issues. However, life must go on. So anyway, speaking of, let's go through this week. Actually, if you've noticed, if you've already checked the week 8, mag-end siya today. I mean, yung meeting today, May 6 to May 10 until this weekend. Carry over lang actually yung ating module guide from the week number 7. Kasi same activity. If you haven't done this, please do that. um what else? Same references, and what else? Yeah, same assignments, same long quiz. Well, tapos na yung long quiz. Hindi ko maalala, was I able to discuss the results of your long quiz? Hindi ko maalala. Anyways, pero okay naman yung results nung long quiz ninyo. I think na-discuss ko ata na nasabi ko ata na may perfect sa inyong long quiz. So very good. Wala namang bumagsak, thankfully. So ganun lang din ulit. By the way, speaking of long quiz, your next one will be 2 weeks from now. The next weekend. So nakikita ba yung calendar? Hindi ko alam. Anyway, so the day today is 6. The next long quiz will be on 16, May 16, and that will be about this topic, the topic that natatapusin natin ngayon. So you have weeks to study for that. Hello. Yes. and then and then 2 weeks from that, that will be your final long quiz on May 30. So dalawa na lang ang ating natitirang long quiz, 16 and 30. And then we are done. Yay! We are done with our class. um, and then, of course, may natitira pa yung mga other na kailangan yung gawin, yung mga assignments, yung mga journals, forums, and of course, yung inyong prob set. So speaking of prob set, it's already uploaded since last week. 2 weeks ago pa nga ata. Yeah, 1.5 weeks ago. Anyways, so I'm not sure if you've checked it, but please do. Wala pa akong ina-assign na deadline, pero I hope you do it kasi most likely it will be within this month. Okay, within the month lang siya. I don't want to extend it too far away. Maybe let's set a tentative deadline on the 24th. That would be 3 weeks from now. Ayan, 24th for the prob set. Mas madali siya kaysa dun sa unang prob set. Yes. Mas lahat ng naituro ko so far ay magagamit nyo. Actually, kung magbabasa kayo, kaya nyo na siyang simulan. Kaya nyo na siyang gawin. Again, the same groupings will hold, and then you will again have a video presentation to be uploaded in the link, in the drive that I gave you. Okay, here. Tapos, what else? Ito nga siya. Nire-upload ko lang yung prob set for this week. And then your learning journal is there. So, yun na. Patapos na ang ating semester. Actually, itong, if you notice dito, hindi na tayo aabot ng June 8 to 11. And hindi na rin tayo aabot ng June 1 to 7. Wala na tayong synchronous meetings on here. Unless, wala na. Kasi yung baka at the final week of May, I think we still have time. We will be watching, we will be viewing your video presentations and we will be grading them. So ako saka si Wiz, and you of course also, maglalagay ako ng peer eval for everyone to put their marks or remarks on their classmates and on their group mates' works. Okay, so nandito na si Rico. Hi Rico, how are you doing?
Hello, okay naman po.
Okay ka naman?
Nakakuha lang ng hit.
Okay. Nasa labas ka ba? Medyo mahina yung iyong voice. Anyways. Okay, sige. Ayan. So, since kapapasok mo lang, you just rewatch na lang the recording of this video on YouTube. Ayan. So, sorry, natutulog na si Mark. So, ayan. Okay ka na. Mag-hi ka naman sa kanila. Oh, suklan. Anyways. So, okay. So, those are the reminders that we have for the week. Konting-konti na lang. Konting stretch na lang ang semester and matatapos na. May construction daw sa kapitbahay nila. Okay. Okay, so konti na lang. We're almost done with the semester. After this week, the following week, mag-start na tayo sa final topic, which is yung, anong tawag dito? Materials handling, nandyan ang conveyors, etc., etc. So, yon. But for today, we will be finishing our topic on, stop share ko muna, on excavation material loading, haulage, and transport. Share ko lang ulit. Share screen. Ayan. Meron tayong homework. I don't know if you remember. Nakasulat siya sa ating module guide, pero hindi ko muna i-check kasi feeling ko ang dami pang hindi gumagawa. But please do that na lang. Once you have the time to do so, nasa module guide, and then nasa forums din siya. Yung last week na forum, okay? So we've been talking about for the past 2 or 3 weeks about excavation material loading, haulage, and transport. So recap lang ha, a bit of a recap, baka nakalimutan nyo na kasi yung mga na-discuss natin. We talked about the differences between crawlers and rubber-tired equipment. We looked at the different parameters of equipment performance like drawbar pull, rim pull. We looked at that, traction, all of the formulas that are already given and discussed to you. The coefficients, rolling resistance. You also have the two main patterns of tires, radial and bias. You should at least know which one is used where. Okay, grade resistance, okay, total resistance, naglalaga, okay. And then maximum speed, remember, if you want to calculate the gradability speed and rim pull, you can actually use this graph here, and as well as the retarding performance, as well as for maximum and average speed, you can also use this table here. Okay, so madali lang naman to maintindihan. You just have to read and interpret the graphs and the plots. Pumasok si Denzel. Okay, so we also differentiated 2 strokes versus 4-stroke engines. We looked at altitude correction. We looked at production calculations. All of these here, listed here, nadaanan na natin yan. We differentiated density and swell. We looked at swell factor. We looked at the different types of, anong tawag dyan? Volumetric parameters such as bank cubic meter, loose cubic meter, and compacted cubic meter, or yard, depende kung anong system. We also looked at, ayan nga, yung swell factor and loading factor or load factor. We also looked at, ito yung pina-homework ko sa inyo na gawin nyo na lang if you haven't done it yet. We also looked at operating efficiency na sabi ko ay malaki ang subjectivity nito kasi the availability factor and utilization factor are defined or determined by the management. Okay? Tapos, we also looked at the fill factor. Huh? And then load cycle time. Sabi ko, ang cycle time ay very important, especially in optimizing operations. Kasi nga, every second or every second counts or every minute counts na nade-delay sa mine. And ito yung rin yung dahilan, isegue ko lang. Ito rin yung dahilan kung bakit ngayon sa developed countries and even in our country, they're already looking into automation of these processes. In particular sa anong tawag dito, loading and haulage of kaya may mga automated trucks na ginagamit. And then loading production, travel time, haulage cycle time, haulage production. And then we also looked at the different types of equipment. We differentiated each. So at least hopefully, well, in practice, pwedeng siya mag-interchange or magpalit-palit. Pero sana ay alam na ninyo kung alin ang specific material or equipment to be used on which purpose. Okay, shovels, operating efficiency, loading production. Ayan, if you are kind of lost dito sa mga pinagsasabi ko, you might want to watch the previous lectures. So mas na-discuss siya doon ng masinsinan. Okay. So we also looked at I think trucks. Doon tayo nag-end sa sa video ng trucks spot time.
Sir,
Yes,
ano po yung bucket payload?
saan 'yon?
Yung dun sir sa homework.
Bucket payload is the amount of material that is in your bucket.
Iba rin siya sir dun sa usable volume.
Okay. Usable volume means the maximum amount of material in terms of volume that you can put. Pero the payload is the amount that is actual. Parang ano siya, theoretical versus actual. Or yeah. Wherein the theoretical there is yung may volume. And then the actual payload is the actual. Yes. I hope that made it clear. Okay. Next tayo. Nasaan na tayo? Actually, patapos na talaga tayo. Almost nasa dulo na tayo ng discussion. Umabot nga din tayo dito sa single spotting and double spotting, no? Ayan. Konting-konti. Ito yung naabutan natin. Nasabi ko, pinatime, doon sa mga naka-attend sa synchronous class, pinatime ko yung pag-load doon sa truck, right? Okay, so dito na tayo. Let's just watch this a bit. Ito yung sinasabi ko na they're already using autonomous haulage systems in many different mines, particularly for developed countries like Australia. Let us share the sound and let us watch this.
Responsibly unlocking the potential of the oil sands requires innovation. And in the 21st century, technology development and innovative thinking are key to how we do business. Accelerating the pace of innovation will increase Suncor's operating efficiency and lower our costs. This is fundamental for our long-term sustainability. Sometimes we aggressively lead research and development of new technologies, but sometimes we collaborate, leveraging and advancing the work of others. One such collaboration involves autonomous haul trucks. Komatsu has developed technology that allows safe and efficient operation between manned mining equipment like shovels, graders, and dozers, and autonomous haul trucks.
Basically, what it does is puts a control system on the truck, and then a computer control room controls where those trucks go and how fast they go and how they operate. The technology has been deployed in other parts of the world, primarily in Chile and in Australia. That's really what we've been working on for years, is to try and figure out, can we take that technology and apply it to a soft rock mine where we have snow and rain and those sorts of things. So that's been the entire focus of our efforts. And so now that we've done the work, we're very confident that we can safely deploy this technology in our environment. An autonomous haul truck needs to know three things: where it is, where it needs to go, and what to avoid. And there's GPS on all of the equipment in the mine, so that the system at all times knows where each piece of equipment is in space and relative to each other. So trucks only travel along predefined courses to assigned destinations. A supervisory system manages the safe movement of trucks using onboard systems and GPS information provided from all vehicles in the mine area.
AHS technology offers several potential opportunities: enhanced safety performance, better operating efficiency, lower operating costs. But moving towards autonomous technology doesn't mean moving away from people.
Like almost any technology, the technologies do have an impact on workforce. In this particular case, we change our workforce and we end up with different skills. We're helping and working through with employees on the transition of the workforce associated with this. There will be some people that will be impacted, and we're working through now as to exactly how that will work.
Following a successful commercial scale evaluation, Suncor is proceeding with the phased implementation of AHS, starting at the North Steepbank Extension Mine. Based on current mine plans, we expect full AHS implementation to take 6 years. Doing this will involve deploying more than 150 autonomous haul trucks.
Okay, so if you saw the video, Suncor is a mining company in Canada, if I'm not mistaken. Is it? Anyway, so it's a mining company that has already looked into automated or autonomous mining trucks. Um, and it has successfully implemented such. Okay. So the goal is to actually reduce the amount of wasted time, or at least lag time in the cycles of loading and hauling of the material. So yun ang nangyari dito. And um, there are, of course, positive and negative things that would happen. And what do you think? Sige, let's have a discussion on this topic here. Um, why would you think um, automated trucks would help in terms of the production? In what ways could it help? And the negative ways as well, and on how um, it can be implemented properly. Palagay na lang sa chat. So, para hindi lang puro ako. I want to know your thoughts din naman. Sige, positives and pros and cons na lang. Pros, just write your thoughts, pros and cons of this system in college. Okay, so sabi ni Nathaniel, tama, it's actually 24/7 working. Well, technically, hindi naman siya talaga 24/7 kasi meron tayong maintenance, no? Meron tayong maintenance time, meron tayong baba ka muna. Ayan, meron tayong maintenance and what do you call this? Downtimes. Lalo na fueling times as well. So yun lang naman ang downtime niya eh. Kapag mini-maintain siya, um, preventive maintenance, and then also fueling kapag naglalagay ka ulit ng fuel. Sabi ni Lindon, ang con niya is expensive. Um, surprisingly, there are cases actually wherein this is not as expensive as having humans there. One of the reasons why they are employing this is actually they found out that this system, automated systems or autonomous mining trucks, is actually cost effective. That's why they are shifting into this. Kasi well, may ano yan, relative yung ganong pagtingin. Unang-una, if the technology is available, kasi of course in for example in Australia, they have companies, supporting companies who would retrofit. Yung ibig sabihin nun, yung mga existing na trucks, hindi na nila kailangang bumili ng bagong trucks. Lahat ng mga trucks na yan, if you would see, are actually old ones na nag-retrofit sila ng system, nilagay lang doon. So and then availability of course nung companies na nag-aayos ay nandoon. So that's the advantage. Another thing is all the other situations would provide or at least would support. Pangalawang factor is also the availability of the internet. If you notice, napaka-importante ng internet diyan sa mga lugar na 'yan. Thankfully, sa mga mining companies sa Australia, what they do, they actually invest on 5G or 4G or 5G systems sa kanilang mine. So imagine that. Imagine being in a mine but you have a very fast internet. Okay, so 'yon, malaki ring factor sa Australia na isang continent siya. Dito kasi sa Philippines, we are, tawag dito, an archipelago. Tas ngayon pa nga lang may problem na tayo sa pag-roll out ng ano no, ng tech ng ano ng tawag sa internet. So malaking factor yung internet diyan. Next is another con, sabi ni CJ, needs a lot of electrical and renewable energy needed. Um, yes, in a way, it depends on what the company or what is already available there. Kasi meron ding mga areas na naka-fuel pa rin naman yung ating mga trucks. Siguro yung sinasabi niya ding electrical energy sa batteries kasi ito. Kasi yung mga systems ng pag-communicate ng mga trucks to each other, yung system ng detect nung location niya, GPS monitors, lahat yon naka-batteries dapat yan. So maybe in that part, yes. Though you could also argue that renewable sources would actually help these technologies. For example, I've had I've read a case study wherein a certain mine, they actually implemented a huge solar farm. Naglagay sila ng solar farm doon sa kanilang site, and then that would actually supplement the energy needs that they would need. Okay, another from Denzel. Okay, this is actually very important. That this is a very good point. Software related risks, cybersecurity. Um yan ang number one na actually maaring ma-miss, or at the same time ay number one concern in any modern technology that we have, because all of our technologies nowadays, especially mga bago, they rely so much on interconnectivity, cloud, they rely on AI, they rely on internet, they rely on codes, sophisticated machine learning, and those things, and big data analysis. Lahat yan ay prone to not only hacking, mind you, it can also be any cybersecurity risk. Ang cybersecurity, it also covers yung halimbawa, yung system mo itself ay hindi ganun ka-secure, and may mga bugs pala yung system mo. So yun, maaring instead na pumunta yung truck mo somewhere, yun, napadaos do siya dun sa may cliffside. So yun, that's another risk that we have. So there are a lot of cons if you would see, and I think marami kayong cons na nilagay. How about pros? Aside from 24/7 siya nag-work, and lessen ang in ating ano tawag dito? Downtime. Ano pa? Number one concern for mines is actually, of course, safety. That's correct. Safety and productivity. Okay, so safety is number one as well, because unang-una, wala nang taong nag-ano. So halimbawa, masira man yung equipment. Well, ayaw din naman ng mining company yun. Pero I mean, like, apart from yung equipment, pwede naman kasi i-repair. Pero yung taong mamamatay, wala buhay yun eh. So apart from that, ang dami pang gagastusin ng company para dun sa family nung 'di ba? So eliminating the safety, the risks rather, and hazards would actually benefit the mine. And ang kaakibat niyan nga is productivity. Dahil nga lessened yung downtimes, mas nagiging productive, mas nagiging efficient yung binibigay, yung input, yung lahat ng ginastos mo dun sa equipment and dun sa system, etc., dun sa nakukuha mo, bawing-bawi siya. So that's why companies are already looking into this. And actually, I'm seeing this to happen in the next, maybe a bit longer for us, but maybe in the next 10 to 20 years, we're already maybe are transitioning as well to these systems. Okay? Another con na hindi nabanggit ng iba is actually the downside to uh, having autonomous systems na less people ang involved. And also not only less people, but also the what do you call this? You have to upgrade the skills of the people working. Kasi halimbawa, 'di ba originally driver ang nag-ooperate. So pag wala ka ng driver, sino ang papalit na mag-ooperate ng autonomous system mo? You should have technical people working on that. Okay? So yun yung downside to that. Pero there's a way to at least make sure that that doesn't happen if you can shift also the career of the person who used to be a driver. Pwedeng yung driver na yon, instead na fully autonomous yung system mo, you can also make it semi-autonomous or remote controlled, right? So pwedeng yung driver ay from a remote site, siya pa rin naman nag-ooperate, pero at a much safer situation. Okay, what else? You can also change or train the person to do some other things for the mine. Okay, maybe sa maintenance na lang siya, or sa maintenance ng trucks ha. Okay. And then sa pag-fuel ng trucks, so yun, ganun na lang. So yun yung another thing that should be considered for this. Okay, thank you for sharing your thoughts. Now let's go to this. This is another video. Okay, let's look at a shovel or an excavator rather filling up an autonomous truck. If you notice, pansinin ninyo, walang tao dun sa loob ng truck na why we're watching this, take your time. I think start taking your time. May nag-chat. Sorry, wait lang. Hindi pa nag-start yung time, okay. Video is too loud. What I said is try to take note of the time. I-time nyo yung, mag-start pa lang. Paglagay nung shovel dun sa truck. Tapos ilang balik yung shovel para mapuno yung truck. Tapos pag alis ng truck, bago dumating yung sunod na truck, how long? Okay? So thank you, Inyaki, for Sige, pa-time ha. Palagay na lang sa chat. Having two let's see the chat. Kasi pag pinuntahan ko yung chat, mapopause yung video. Oh my God. Hindi pala ako naririnig the whole time. Anyway, sige. Maingay pala. So, anyways, what I've been saying the whole time is that number one is, if you notice, compared to the video that I've shown you a few, like last meeting, yung truck end loader din, mas matagal to. Bakit? Number one, because of the scale, or the size of the equipment. The larger the equipment is, the slower it will go. It will move. So that's the downside. Kasi sometimes you would think sa mind, why not na lang na kumuha tayo ng mas malaking ang tawag dito, trucks and malaking loaders or shovels or excavators para mas maraming bulk. No, it doesn't work that way. The smaller it is, the faster it will go. Okay, so you have to balance that. What else did I note here? May nag-time ba gaano katagal yung isang cycle? Mukhang wala. Kasi parang na-pause siya eh. Pero we can actually gauge that here. From here, let's see. Sorry, nakatingin ako sa isa kong screen. Ang layo ng aking screen eh. This is 447 mark. 447 to 350. What? No. 447 to 350. 350. 315 to 445. So, mga 1 minute lang, no? Okay, anyway. So, yeah. Huwag na natin. So, punta na tayo. 30 seconds to 1 minute then yung pagdating ng isang talk. Thank you, CJ. So, yun. If you notice, dun sa mga na-discuss natin last time, medyo pasok naman siya dun sa mga usual na conventions natin ng load cycle time. Kung nakalimutan nyo na, please just go back to those topics that we discussed. Ito actually, ito yun, no? So yung haulage time, equipment load time, travel time to dump point, dump to spread time, etc. So, okay. Now we go to LHDs, underground. So, the difference, of course, from surface is that instead of having two equipment, if you are operating in large-scale underground mines, you would have either LHDs or SDLs, load load haul dumpers, or side discharge loaders. Okay. I think you already know this since EM10. LHDs are wheel-mounted, bidirectional, articulated machines equipped with four-wheel drive and a bucket. Okay, are you familiar with these terms? Wheel-mounted, ibig sabihin, yung wheel niya ay nakakabit dun sa mismong body. Okay? Tapos bidirectional, of course, you have two directions most often, just forward and backward. Articulated means it has segments, so it can be more maneuverable. And then four-wheel drive means all of the wheels are actually connected to motors that are rotating. Okay. I think you know that if you are car enthusiasts here. And then a bucket. Meron siyang bucket na malaki. LHDs are often diesel powered and low ang kanyang profile and narrow. Okay, if you notice, if you actually go out of kasing tangkad lang siya ng tao halos, the whole LHD. Mas matakad lang ng konti, pero yun, mababa siya, low profile. Kasi of course, we know how small tawag dito, the openings are underground. And then it can range in capacity from 1 short ton to 20 short, sorry, 1 metric ton rather, sorry, 1 metric ton to 20 metric tons, or 1.1 short ton to 22 short tons. This is for the bucket. Sobrang laki ng 20 tons. Naisip ko lang. So, and then for tram speeds, it can range from 5 to 16 kilometers per hour. Mabagal yun. And, or 3 to 10 miles per hour, depending on haulage way clearances. Mabagal siya compared, of course, na nasa ibabaw ka ng lupa sa kotse. Pero underground, that's already very fast. Sabi ni Lyndon, hindi daw siya familiar sa SDL. Ang SDL ay mas maliit lang na LHD. Tapos if you notice, yung kanyang tao ay nandun sa pinakalikod. Ito. In this case, ay may pointer pala ako. Ayan. In this case, instead of a wheel as well, meron siyang crawler type locomotive siya. And of course, mas maliit ang kanyang capacity ng bucket compared to a full-blown LHD. And then another thing that you could think about, crawlers, well, if you remember our discussion, wheels can actually go faster than crawlers. But in terms of rigidity, LHDs are actually very prone to tire damage and tire wear. Ang sa mine, for example, sa Felix, if you've been to an underground mine that uses LHDs, ang pinakamalaking gastos daw nila, in terms of operating expenses, is the wheels. Every single wheel of an LHD is around 200 to 250 to 300,000 pesos. So, tapos ang pag-change ng wheels niyan, hindi ko na maalala kung gaano kadalas, pero madalas siya. So, siguro hindi aabot ng isang taon, no? Hindi rin siguro aabot ng 6 months. So baka less than that. So ganun ka um ka lala ang pagpapalit ng tires nila. So imagine, kaya din pala if you go to a mine that has LHDs, madalas meron silang mga vulcanizing facility na malalaki, pang malalaking truck na kasing size ng tao, yung gulong. Kasi mahal nga. Kung kaya pang matapalan, go. Pero kung hindi na, ayun, of course, tapon na. So, yun. Imagine how much rubber that is. Okay. I remember there are wheels, speaking of wheels na nasisira, there are wheels na sometimes they put in chains. I'm not sure if you've seen that. May mga chains na parang nakapalibot para ma-protect yung ano. Ang problema doon, na-affect niya yung traction ng wheels. So, yun. Mas safe nga siya pero may effect siya sa ano. So, maybe someday you could, if you go to a mine that operates with LHDs, that's one of the problems that you could actually address, how to make things more efficient on these things. Okay, next would be college production. This formula has already been shown to you many times before, but this one is for LHDs lang. Okay, let's just recap. So ang haulage production, or capital P sub H, or haulage production in terms of bank cubic meter, okay, for every hour. Okay, it's the amount of volume for every hour. It's equal to 60 kasi there are 60 minutes in 1 hour, multiplied by the number of haulage units. So that's an integer. And then the whole load, the BCM or BCY of the bucket of the LHD. And then E is the operating efficiency, which is a decimal, divided by corrected cycle time in minutes. The corrected cycle time is also given in the previous lectures kung ano ang kanyang calculations. What else? Yeah. Remind ko lang kayo na ang corrected cycle time, kasama na dito ang waiting time and expected delays. Okay? So kasama na siya. Take note lang. Okay, to determine the production in tons, metric tons per hour or tons per hour, just multiply the bank density. Okay, so ito ay volume. So of course, to convert it to the mass, okay, or the tonnage rather, you just multiply by the bank density, which is metric tons per bank cubic meter or metric tons per bank cubic yard, or of course the SG, specific gravity, or tonnage factor. Next would be to estimate the productivity for the load, haul, and dump operation with the operating efficiency E. Range, ang sinasabi lang nito, ang E is actually ranging from 0.75 to 0.92, depende sa conditions. So 0.75 kapag severe job conditions and 0.92 kapag excellent. How do you determine if it's severe or not? Number one is for the condition of the road that you're going through. Hindi road opening. So kapag of course hindi pa ganun ka smooth yung dadaanan, maraming bato-bato, so you could call it a severe job condition. Or for example, may kino-construct na support, okay? Or naglalagay ng whatever, I would say a rock bolt, or kapag naglalagay ng wire mesh or whatever. Pero most of the time, they don't do that, no? Kapag you, as much as possible, if something is happening in your opening, if you're putting in support, if you're um, putting in something, you don't usually let the LHDs travel to that area. Okay, so yun. The next would be the travel time. This is how you calculate it. The travel time is already showed to you as well in previous instances, pero this time for LHD, ang travel time, or capital T, is equal to the distance over the velocity multiplied by the units conversion factor. Velocity is in average speed. Okay, just take note. Tapos, ano bang naka-note dito? Yung kanyang combined time for loading, maneuvering, and dumping is just between 0.8 to 1.4 depending on operating conditions. Yung 12.18 to 12.20, ito yon. Paki-check na lang din dun sa ating main reference na si Lori. Hindi ko kasi na-name yung ating equation. So paki-check na lang yung 12.18 to 12.20. Ito nga yun. So the cycle time, yung T sub CH, and capital TC sub CH. Okay? Ang difference lang nitong dalawa, if you would know, remember, pinakita ko na rin to before, theoretical yung walang capital C, the capital C stands for corrected kasi meron ka ng wait time and delay time. And then the total theoretical is equal to the sum of equipment load time, travel time to dump point, dump or spread time, and travel return time. Tapos sabi nga dito, yung kanyang combined time for loading, maneuvering, and dumping ay usually 0.8 to 1.4 minutes. Okay? Pag masyadong matagal, it means you are maybe too long in something, one of these. Maybe the location is too far, so you have to shorten the distance, or maybe there is something wrong with, I guess, how the operator manages to operate. Okay, so ito lang yung sample ng pag-determine ng mga times. Okay, if you are in a mine and you want to do cycle time analysis, time and motion study, you have to, of course, observe and take note of the times that are all of these are taking. So in terms of seconds, in minutes, or in hours, okay, ayan, nandito siya, nakadetalye naman siya dito. Okay, so may yung, yeah, wala naman. Okay, so halimbawa sa fixed times, may back out of draw point, bucket to carry position, maneuver, travel to dumping point, yung hauling, fixed times, maneuver, lift bucket to dump, dumping, lower bucket, maneuver, etc., etc. So you have to observe the average. So you can do this multiple times for every equipment. So just like in surface mining operations, automation is again the next big thing for underground haulage as well. So, and automation and robotics and remote control of these LHDs. So I will just want you to watch this video again on what Sandvik has already been working on. There are mines there are very advanced mines that are using this already. But again, of course, these are in developed countries, and we might see these maybe a decade pa or more from now in the Philippines.
We really want to disrupt the mindset of how things are done conventionally today. Give our end users kind of a vision of where underground mining and surface mining automation is going to go in the future.
We wanted to create something different, something that no one else has done before.
The project has been really secret, so top secret from the beginning. We had to build its own proto workshop, and we call it Area 52.
We knew exactly what we needed. We've had to build the systems, however, from ground up to make them mining proof.
We're trying to introduce technologies, robust technologies that actually are capable of withstanding the environmental conditions that we throw at them.
We have to adapt, we have to be able to interact with other machines.
We chose a loader as the concept vehicle, mostly because of the high speeds and the bucket in the front.
It's a cabinless, battery-driven electric driveline machine.
All the needed subsystems were developed simultaneously to be assembled like a puzzle at the end.
It can position itself, it can map, it can go to territories which have not been mapped before.
Pick an endpoint, pick a start point, and allow the loader to then move and navigate through the underground mine on its own.
It senses the environment in full 3D, in pitch black darkness. It creates a model of the environment, analyzes it, and plans its own missions.
Artificial intelligence is great, but we've also separated our control and safety from artificial intelligence.
The machine can work with traditional safety gate systems, but it also has a built-in, self-contained safety system.
Removing people from hazardous environments, that's really one of the main drivers for automation. Obviously, increasing the productivity.
The most game-changing technology in this unit is that it's combining all of the technology pieces that we have developed during this project.
With the given schedule, we could only build it once, and we had to get it right on the first go. And we got it right.
It is really extraordinary and unique. That's the future for the mining.
The concept vehicle is not for sale. This is going to be an interesting next couple of years. We're going to slowly introduce these new technologies on top of our existing platform.
This new technology has a potential to change how we operate our mines, and this new concept loader takes it even further.
Okay, so I don't know if you've noticed, pero walang driver yung loader, yung LHD. Tapos wala rin actually nagko-control sa kanya. This is fully automated. But what we have nowadays, or you might be aware that what many of the mines out there are already doing is remotely controlled, no? There's still someone who operates, pero underground yung ino-operate niya. But this one is very different. It's the next level na wala talagang human. Well, you just monitor it basically, like what's shown in the video. This is the counterpart of the fully automated trucks for the surface. But this video is actually quite recent. I think this was just last year, if I'm not mistaken. It was just uploaded very recently, last year lang nga ata, or a few months ago lang. So the technology is still at its infancy, but you could already imagine what would happen in the next decades or maybe next century. Mining is already fully automated. And yeah, if you notice, ang nag-ooperate na ng mines ay nandun na lang sa mga ang tawag dito, offices or well, not technically offices, pero main control centers. Tapos meron pa rin, hindi mawawala ang tao sa underground because what if something goes wrong? Or even in the surface mines, what if something goes wrong? You would still have people go and check yung tawag dito, um, what was gone wrong or how to fix things. So yun, di pa rin mawawala yung mga nagme-maintain and ano. Pero most of the things ay gagawin na nga remotely and automatically or automated. Um, Yun, and that is the last slide for this actually. This major topic here. Um, we're already done with 3/4 of our semester. Um, the prob set is again already uploaded. I hope you start working on that. The deadline, the soft deadline is in 3 weeks. We have the long quiz for this topic is on nakalimutan ko agad yung date. I'll put an announcement naman and I'll remind you naman. May 16, which is 2 Sundays from now. Tapos the last topic, long quiz, will be on May 30 naman. Okay, so I hope you do things, the things that you need to do. You don't need to do them all at once. You can do little by little, which I would recommend para hindi rin kayo matabunan ng gagawin. Okay, would you have questions for this meeting? If you notice, halos wala naman. Mukhang wala. Okay, siguro a reminder na lang. If you notice, many of the formulas that we've been discussing are not derived, but they're just given to you. And I don't really want you to focus on memorizing them. I haven't asked anyone to memorize any of these formulas because all of these are in the handbook. And I recommend when you go out in the field, when you work in an actual mine, perhaps, or maybe you are working for I don't know, another stage of a mine. For example, doon pa lang kayo sa development stage, feasibility ang ginagawa ninyo. Try to look at these factors on how they would affect your operation, even if the mine hasn't operated yet, or if you're evaluating operations. So many of these things you can actually use. And also perhaps you try to look forward on what new solutions you can actually help or suggest to make the mine more productive. That's one. Safer, um, faster, more efficient. So all of those things. And um, I introduced those things. It's exciting kasi the next few years or decades of mining wherein you will be working on, kasi syempre yung mga matatanda nating mga veterans na mining engineers, they wouldn't like, many of them, they know that that's the future, but many of them, they would not be able to see that come to fruition, and you're going to be the ones working on that. So yeah, it's a really more of a learning process then to adapt to those new changes. Okay, so yun lang. That's my last parting words for you guys. So it's already 2:12. So I'll see you on Tuesday. Yes, for the new topic. And I hope you all stay safe. Kung wala na kayong questions, I'll let you go. I'll see you then. Bye-bye. Happy weekend, even though it's a Thursday pa. Stay safe, everyone. Bye-bye.